Hello YouTube, this is my installation review of the Mutazu hard saddlebags with a few tips and tricks on how I installed my bags. First off, you're going to need a couple hand tools. You're going to need a ratchet, kind of like this. If you have a stubby one, I found that worked best on tightening the bolts inside the bag. You're either going to need an Allen wrench or an Allen socket like this, size 6, to tighten those bolts. And of course, you're going to need a drill bit to be able to drill the holes. If you're like me and not the best with the drill, some type of center punch like this to make an initial mark in the bag would be a good idea, so that way it can help the drill bit from walking and messing up your bag. The instructions for the installation call for at least a 1-inch clearance between the bottom of the bag and your exhaust. I found that using a 2x12 like this gave me more than the 1-inch clearance, but since I needed the bags to be higher on my bike, with the help of this jack stand, I was able to use this 2x12 as a table to stack some spacers in there to be able to get the bag sitting up higher to look right on my bike. For reference, this is an 01 Honda Sabre. The kit comes with all the hardware you'll need to mount the bag, including these brackets right here. But what you'll notice right here is the brackets were initially longer than this. What I had to do was cut mine off because they hung down too low and they would have interfered with the swing arm if I'd hit a hard bump. So what I did was I cut the bracket off where I needed to and then painted the bottom of it so that way it wouldn't rust out. These brackets are threaded, so the bolts that you'll tighten from the other side will actually just screw into here. So what I ended up doing with the leftover pieces is I took a drill bit, knocked the threads out, and used them on the inside in here with the bolts. What this did is it made it a little bit sturdier, a lot stronger installation, so I really felt that the bags were secure because I was able to really tighten down these bolts without fear of them ripping through the rubber grommet on the other side to make sure that the installation was waterproof. One last thing, I want to show you that these bags are not exactly straight. There's a slight curve in the bag here. And if I take this little pad that comes with it and hold it up next to a straight edge, what you'll see is that there's just a little bit of a curve in there. And that's important because when you're making your marks, if you don't account for that curve, you'll end up like me and have an extra set of holes in your bags that you didn't account for. So what I would suggest that you do is to do each brackets individually on the first bag. Make sure you get the first one right, then remark for the second one, so that way you don't end up with those extra holes. Lastly, these bags are kind of thin. They're made out of relatively thin plastic, so you can't put a ton of weight in them. But I have gone to the grocery store a couple times with them, and they work fine for simple little things. But again, I wouldn't put too much weight in there. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Other than that, we'll see you on the road.